Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Today, the topic is something that I had a really difficult time with for years. How many of you sit around and think about the things that you want to do, whether it's just go to a movie or try a new restaurant or travel to someplace really cool, and you literally wait for someone else to go with you so that you can go do it? How many times have we skipped going to the movies because we didn't feel comfortable going by ourselves? Or we didn't go to a particular restaurant, or go watch a football game at a great sports bar, or go on a staycation or a vacation somewhere, or just go on a road trip because we didn't have anybody that had the time or the money or the desire to want to do the same things that we want to do, the things that will actually bring us joy and make us happy.
Welcome to the Soul Wide Open podcast with your host, author, and certified trauma-informed coach, Michelle Renee.
Oh my gosh, I'm in a different environment today because it is so stormy in San Diego. Everything is flooded. The streets are rivers. And I rushed out of the house to get to the studio to record and be a guest on someone else's podcast today. And I ran out and forgot some filming stuff that I needed to do my podcast in my normal setup. So I'm here in my office at my desk, and I just think it's just perfect. That way you guys can see what else I do with my company and my book and all that good stuff. So I stopped doing so many things that I used to do after the kidnapping. I mean, as you can imagine, the trauma was just horrific, and the trauma response in the body and emotionally and in every single way was so severe that I was afraid to go do anything. And even when I began to heal and I started going to therapy and I started really getting to a place where my PTSD was starting to lessen, at least somewhat, I was afraid to go anywhere by myself, even going for a walk on the beach or sitting at the beach. I remember finally deciding, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to go do something by myself and not let the fear control my life. And I went to the beach, and I was feeling really good walking down to the beach. And then I got to the beach and I laid out my blanket and I was on the sand. And people were behind me, and walking sort of behind me or setting up their blankets and stuff behind me. I was on such hyper alert status. Like, every person or shadow that I would see behind me was a trigger for me, even at the beach. And because we were attacked from people breaking in and rushing in and attacking us from behind. And so that was a really big trigger for me. And instead of getting up and leaving the beach, I was like, I have to figure this out. And so I got up and I moved my blanket all the way up against the very back of the beach. There's this cliff here in San Diego. If you've been to the beaches here, you know that most of the beaches have these sort of cliffs at the back of the beach. You have to go down these steps to get down to the beach. And I bumped my blanket all the way up to the back of the beach so that I could sit there by myself where no one could walk behind me or sit behind me. And I kept doing that over and over and over until I really began to be comfortable with being there by myself. And eventually I would move my blanket out just a little bit, and then I would inch it a little bit more out, a little bit more out, until I was able to finally just go to the beach and put my blanket anywhere and not feel that sense of hyper alertness and be triggered by people moving and there being movement behind me. So, and that carried over into many, many areas of my life, being sort of afraid to go do things by myself. And before that, I wasn't really afraid to do things by myself. It just felt odd. You just feel like people are going to judge you. You feel like people are going to be like, okay, who's the lonely chick in the corner at the cafe? And I just decided that, and this wasn't that long ago. This was maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, after maybe 5 or so years after the kidnapping, when I really started opening up to the fact that, and not to quote Miley Cyrus, but I'm going to quote Miley Cyrus, I started to literally think about, I don't have to wait for someone else to buy me flowers. I could buy my own flowers. And I've been buying myself fresh flowers every week that I'm home and not traveling to have in my space and my environment. I buy them for myself because they make me happy. They bring this sense of joy for me into my home, this fresh, bright, beautiful sort of essence that it brings into the space for me. And I never used to do that. And I would think like, gosh, I wish somebody would buy me flowers. No one buys me flowers on my birthday. And I would tell my daughter, she would finally started when she was old enough to like start buying me gifts and things. And she knows how much I love flowers. So she would buy me flowers. Well, now she's 30, she's getting married, she has her own life, she has things going on. To expect other people to get you what you need to make you happy is kind of some form of insanity or something. I just began to realize that that wasn't anybody else's responsibility. That's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to make me happy, to get myself the things that bring me joy, to do the things that wake me up and light me up and get me excited about life and make me feel this sense of gratitude and wonder and curiosity and all of those things that really cultivate this sense of really creating a life that you love. And when we wait on other people to do that for us, we might be waiting forever to create this life, or waiting on other people for these moments that bring us joy that may or may not ever happen, or just happen on your birthday, or some special occasion. No, life is the special occasion. Say that to yourself. Life is the special occasion. It really, really is. There's no reason to wait for a special occasion to get yourself flowers. There's no reason to wait to get yourself something that makes you happy and feel fantastic and feel good in your own skin and feel beautiful and feel worthy, or whatever you want to label that as. So, what are the things that you're waiting for other people to provide for you? Are you waiting on other people to join you to go to the movies to see a movie you really, really love? I just went to the movies recently by myself. It was great. I do it kind of often because I'm so pro not waiting for anybody else to be able to show up in my life for me to show up in my own life. I went to the movies and I had the best time by myself. And I go to restaurants by myself. If I'm in the mood for something and I see a new restaurant, I will pull over and I will go in there and I will just enjoy myself. I go to places to watch sports by myself. I just sit at the bar because there's usually people at the bar that you can meet and talk to, and you say hello to the bartender, and it's very social. And I'm watching the game and I'm with other sports people that are excited about the game. And so that is something for me that has a huge impact on the amount of joy that we feel in our life, and that sort of sense of being proud of yourself, and that sense of independence, and that sense of feeling oh, what's the word I'm looking for? That self-confidence that is so important to how we show up in the world. And in terms of the healing process, that is a massive part of beginning to feel that sense of belonging in the world again. At least for me, it was. And I want to really just encourage you to grab a piece of paper. Start writing down the things that you really want to go do. Do you want to go to Yosemite in the spring because that's when the waterfalls are absolutely glorious? Do you want to go to Sedona in the winter because the red rocks with the snow on them, and the contrast and the beauty of that is just incredible. Do you want to go see a new movie? Do you want to go roller skating? What do you want to do that you're waiting on other people to do with you before you'll actually go do it? You don't need to wait on other people. Just give yourself permission to show up in your own life and go do the things that make you so happy, that you will enjoy. You're not, and it's funny because people are like, "Oh my God," people are looking at me like, "Who's that person in the corner at the cafe?" Or, "Oh my gosh, that lady's by herself in the movie theater." Guess what? No one cares. No one cares. They're watching the movie. They're eating their meal. They're enjoying their conversation with the person that they're with at the cafe. Like, you're not so important in the world that everybody's focused on you and the fact that you're at a cafe alone, or you're at a movie alone, or that you're roller skating alone. No one cares. And guess what? If you're doing something that makes you happy and you're smiling and you're giving off this great vibe that you're doing something that makes you happy, people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, bravo." Like, bravo for her. Look at how happy she looks getting out here and putting those roller skates on. I'll give you a great example. This is a perfect example. I was in Vegas filming an event for a client, and the event was over, and it was my last night in Vegas. And I am a big country music person, and I love honky tonks, and I love country western places. And there's a place in Vegas called Gillies, and it is my favorite place to go in Las Vegas for all things country. And I know there's a new place that Blake Shelton just opened called Old Reds that I can't wait to go check out. But my favorite place up to this point has always been Gillies. And people were busy. They were going to other places for dinner. No one really wanted to go. Not everybody's into country. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go by myself. So I went across the street from where I was staying, went into Gillies by myself. The place was really pretty packed, and the band was just amazing. And I was hungry. I hadn't eaten most of the day because I'm really busy when I'm filming, running around. And I told the lady that came up to greet me, the waitress, and she said, "Where do you want to sit?" And I said, "You know what? Do you have a place that's kind of in the back? Because I really want to enjoy a nice meal and just kind of have a view of the stage and listen to the music and just kind of have a moment." And she's like, "Oh my God, I have the perfect place for you." So she walks me to the back, and I sit at this great table that's like a high top table by myself, where I could see the band playing, listen to the music, watch the people. Ordered this. I mean, this had to be the best brisket I've ever had. And I sat there and I just enjoyed myself, and I was kind of grooving to some of the songs and just closing my eyes and enjoying the music and kind of swaying a little bit. And the waitress comes up to me and she goes, "I have to tell you, like, you are a whole vibe. Like, you are just a whole vibe. I love everything about your energy right now. You're just enjoying yourself." And that is the point that I'm trying to make here, that just go enjoy yourself. You might actually inspire other people to get out and start living their life without waiting on other people to give themselves permission to go live their life and be happy and do the things that make them happy. So, yeah, I would get a piece of paper and start writing down the things that you want to go do. Like the top 5. Just don't overwhelm yourself with everything, but just like the top 5 things. What are the top 5 things that you want to do that you've been waiting on other people to find the time or the money or the energy or whatever to go do with you, so that you could go do it? If it's a trip like me, I just book a flight. And then and tell people, "I'm going. If you want to go, great. If not, I got my ticket. I'm going by myself." And that's that. I've done that actually twice last year. And I ended up having friends go, "I'm coming. I'm booking my ticket right now." So I ended up having somebody go with me, but I was going by myself. That's the same thing that's going to be happening this year. I really want to go to Costa Rica. I really want to start exploring Asia for the very first time. And I'm looking for great flight deals. And if one shows up, I'm going to snag that ticket, and I'm going to plan to go by myself and let my friends know I'm going. Here's my flight. Buy yourself a ticket if you want to go. But if not, follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be sharing it all. So, yeah, write those things down and really make a commitment to yourself that how about starting, like, you could start whenever. Say, I'm going to start this weekend. I'm going to plan something this weekend. Like I said, whether it's roller skating or riding a bike or going to a movie or going and grabbing a meal or going and buying yourself flowers. Because remember, life is the special occasion. Do everything that you can every day to celebrate that and celebrate you and celebrate the fact that you're still here, whatever it is that you've survived in your life, you've come through in your life, you've overcome in your life, whatever you have actually overcome that makes you a superwoman. Like, think about that. What I've been through and what I've come through, I'm a superwoman. I've had like a few superwoman moments that I'm really, really proud of. And for any of us that are still here and we're still going, we're going to do everything that we can. We're not just going to survive. We're going to thrive. We're going to shine. We're going to show up. We're going to dance. We're going to laugh. We're going to do the things that bring us the most amount of joy. I hope you found this really, really helpful. I would love it if you went over to Instagram and messaged me or commented on a post exactly some of those things that you're doing to really just take control of your own life, living with your soul wide open and not waiting on other people to give yourself permission to do that, to give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to do that right now. Like, totally. Not waiting another second. I'm excited for you. This is a big step. I know it's scary for a lot of people, but I also know how absolutely amazing it feels once you get started and you keep going and you finally decide, my life is mine. My life is my own. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for my happiness. I'm responsible for doing the things and giving myself the things that make me happy. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Please share it, like it, love it, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you soon.